Good morning. Welcome to October. A point about I'm John Puihal, I'm your liturgist today, and we're ringing the bell from indoors. One, because we have bells handy. The second is because Pete Dulac and Scott Howerson have been working over the last couple days to work on the bell tower to open up some more space for the sound to come out, so that there's a construction equipment out there. But we thank Pete and Scott for their work there and look forward to a louder bell in the coming Sundays. For those who are interested and have been traveling, it's halftime in London. The Vikings are ahead 13-7. We welcome today as our guest pastor, Reverend Dr. Larry Bautel. And Larry has come all the way from Rochester to speak with us today. He may look familiar because his brother is Bonnie Lohman, and there's Bonnie, and she's sitting here in person, so that means you must know what he said and know he does an okay job. So you know.
I haven't heard him very many times.
Yeah, you haven't heard him too many times, but okay. So anyway, we welcome Dr. Bautel and look forward to his message. I'll start with a couple announcements, and then if you have any others, you can flag me down or come on up. The crop walk date has been changed, delayed a week, not next Sunday, but the following Sunday now, October 16th, right after worship. Be gathering around Central Park, and then following the route, and I think it ends back here or close to here after the route. Stuff the backpacks. We're collecting items for victims of abuse through the month of October. And there's more information and details out in the sanctuary if you want to pick up a flyer. And then we're also starting a youth night. It's the first Wednesday of each month. Youth 3 and older, okay, attend from 6 to 7:30 on Wednesdays for food, fellowship, and fun. And this week, there's other items that are on your schedule there. I can just quickly go over them. October 4th is a deacons meeting at 6:30. The 5th is youth night. That's the ones that we just talked about, as well as the choir rehearsal. October 11th, the finance meeting. October 16th, the crop walk. 19th, the session. And the weekly coffee at Mandy's and book club are on his schedule. Any other announcements? Yes, come on up.
Hi, I'm Natasha Yates, and I just want to remind people that adult education is happening. It's from 9 to 9:45 in the conference room before church. Next week, Danielle will be running a discussion talking about her mission work in Lesotho. So you can join that discussion in the conference room next week. The following week, unless somebody volunteers, and you can talk to me if you want to volunteer, I won't be here, so I can't run it. So it'll be canceled for the 16th, but I'll be back for the 23rd for a riveting discussion about something. So feel free to join us. Thank you.
Good morning, I'm Lynn Dulac, and I wanted to, Pete's not here, so I can brag a little bit about all the work that he's been doing on the bell tower. So this project started about a year ago, and you might have noticed that the tiles at the top of the stairs are often stained. That's because when the bell tower was built, the louvers were built out of styrofoam that was 2 inches thick. It has deteriorated, and all the water that comes in goes in directly in there and floods. Pete has been working almost daily since June. He has rebuilt all of those louvers. They're now built with a special weatherproof material that he's painted, and they're now about this deep. He's also discovered that each one weighs about 150 pounds to put up there, so that's why the lift is there. And he's discovered that we used thin bricks, and that's coming off, and the mortar is working, and there's lots of issues there. So it wasn't just, it is to make the bell sound lovely, but it's been a lot of work, and I just personally want to thank him for all the time that he's put in. He said yesterday, "You can't even tell I've done anything," and I said, "Oh yes, just look in the garage." So So everyone is continuing to do the best they can for the church, and so I just want to thank Pete for doing that necessary thing that none of us really noticed needed to be done. He's got probably another month's worth of work to do up there. So hopefully it will be all set and it won't leak. So that will be great. Thanks for your support.
We thought he was just good looking. Oh, speaking of good looking.
Hello, I'm Brenda Hendricks, and as long as Lynn is saying wonderful things about people, I just want to say thank you to all the people who have been trying to keep the church going and doing a lot of work that we don't see on the outside. Getting bulletins made, getting service to work, and to get that to work, and it's not working. It isn't due to anybody else but me, so can't get it to work, but so you will have to look up the songs and everything inside the book, and take a look around the church. There are a lot of people doing a lot of things, weeding, planting beautiful flowers. And until this year, I guess I just never really noticed all the wonderful things that are going on outside. And if you look in the back, there are apples on the apple tree on the hill over there. There's about 5 apples. So yay, I wouldn't eat them because they're probably full of worms, but still, thanks a lot.
Okay, since the screen isn't working, those of you that have picked up a copy have to speak loudly for when we talk about for the people. You're the one speaking, so let the worship of the Lord begin. Oh, give thanks to the Lord, for God is good. The Lord's steadfast love endures forever.
Let the redeemed of the Lord say so. The Lord redeemed from trouble and gathered in from the lands, from the east and from the west, from the north and from the south.
Let them thank the Lord for God's steadfast love, for his wonderful works to humankind.
And let them offer thanksgiving sacrifices and tell of God's deeds to love. This is hymn number 504.
join me in the invitation? Like washing our hands before dinner, we unburden our souls before coming to your table, Lord. Cleanse us, our hearts and minds, and prepare us for your service. You create the universe and call it good, but the power to use it for good is often turned to evil in our hands. You sent our Christ to live with us, teaching your ways, and dying to nullify evil will cause. We confess our sinful ways, choosing not to bear upon the guilt of others, faltering in our good intentions, simply ignoring our opportunities to show up. Call us again through your Holy Spirit to unite with all our superior name, to be the body of Christ in our world and lives. Amen. Christ does not fail us. God's love and forgiveness is there for all who seek life in Him. You may be seated.
Scripture from the book of Isaiah. This is the first Isaiah. Many of you may know that there are 3 authors identified of the book of Isaiah coming from different historical periods. This is the first historic. Will that help? Doing better? Okay. Scriptures from Isaiah. Isaiah has 3 authors, and this reading that I'm doing today is from the first author, and this was the period when the Assyrians were impending the conquering of Israel, and the people were very frightened. Hear what Isaiah has to say to them. See, a king will reign in righteousness, and princes will rule in justice. Each will be like a hiding place from the wind, a covert from the tempest, like streams of water in a dry place, like the shade of a great rock in a weary land. Then the eyes of those who have sight will not be closed, and the ears of those who have hearing will listen. The minds of the rash will have good judgment, and the tongues of the stammerers will speak readily and distinctly. A fool will no longer be called noble, nor a villain said to be honorable. For fools speak folly, and their minds plot iniquity. To practice ungodliness, to utter error concerning the Lord, to leave the craving of the hungry unsatisfied, and to deprive the thirsty of drink. The villainies of villains are evil. They devise the wicked devices to ruin the poor with lying words. Even when the plea of the needy is right. But those who are noble plan noble things, and by noble things they stand. And from the book of Ephesians, the letter Paul wrote to the Ephesians, I'm reading a part where he is encouraging them again to stand strong as followers of Jesus. He starts out telling them where they're coming from so that they can understand where they are going to. You were dead through the trespasses and sins in which you once lived, following the course of this world, following the ruler of the power of the air, the spirit that is now at work among those who are disobedient. All of us once lived among them in the passions of our flesh, following the desires of flesh and senses, and we were by nature children of wrath, like everyone else. But God, who is rich in mercy, out of the great love